Rapunzel. Once upon a time, a man and woman longed for a child, but their wish had remained unfulfilled for many years. One day, it seemed as if their prayers were finally going to be answered. They had a small window in their house that looked out onto a beautiful garden, full of the most gorgeous flowers and herbs. However, this garden was surrounded by a high wall, and it belonged to an enchantress, known for her great power and feared by all. One afternoon, as the woman gazed out of the window, she saw a patch of the most beautiful rampion growing in the garden. It was so fresh and green that she was overcome with a longing to taste it. The craving became so intense that she began to waste away, looking pale and sickly. Her husband, seeing her distress, asked, "What is the matter, my dear wife?" She replied, "If I cannot have some of the rampion from the garden, I shall die." Desperate to save her, her husband thought, "I will do whatever it takes to bring her what she needs." So, under the cover of dusk, he climbed over the garden wall, snatched a handful of rampion, and brought it back to his wife. She eagerly made a salad of it and ate it greedily. It tasted so good that the next day, she longed for it even more. Knowing she could not be satisfied without more, her husband climbed the wall again. But this time, as he reached the garden, he was caught by the enchantress, who confronted him angrily. "How dare you steal from my garden?" she demanded. "You will pay for this theft." The man, trembling, explained, "I did not mean to harm you. My wife saw your rampion and became so ill with desire for it that she would have died without it." The enchantress's anger softened and she said, "If it is as you say, I will allow you to take as much rampion as you wish. But in return, you must give me the child your wife is expecting. I will care for it as if it were my own." Terrified, the man agreed to the enchantress's terms. When the child was born, the enchantress took the baby girl and named her Rapunzel. She raised her in a secluded tower deep in the forest, with no stairs or doors, and only a small window near the top. When the enchantress wanted to visit, she would stand below the window and cry, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Rapunzel had long, beautiful hair, golden as spun silk. When she heard the enchantress's voice, she would unbraid her hair and let it fall down, so the enchantress could climb up. Years passed, and when Rapunzel was 12, the enchantress locked her in the tower. One day, as Rapunzel sang beautifully to herself, the prince, passing through the forest, heard her voice. Captivated, he followed the sound and tried to find the tower, but there was no entrance. The prince returned every day to listen to her singing, and after a while, he saw the enchantress come to the tower and call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Rapunzel's long hair fell down, and the enchantress climbed up. The prince thought, "If that's how one reaches her, I'll try it myself." The next evening, he went to the tower and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Immediately, Rapunzel let down her hair, and the prince climbed up to meet her. At first, she was frightened by the sight of a man, but the prince spoke kindly, and she soon felt at ease. He told her that he had been drawn to her by her voice and that he wished to make her his wife. Rapunzel, seeing the prince's kindness and youth, agreed, and they made plans to escape. She would weave a ladder out of silk, and when it was complete, the prince would take her away on his horse. But the enchantress soon discovered their secret. One day, Rapunzel unwittingly revealed that the prince was much lighter to pull up than the enchantress. Furious, the enchantress cut off Rapunzel's hair and cast her out into the wilderness. When the prince came to the tower, the enchantress tricked him. She let down the hair, and when the prince climbed up, he found not Rapunzel, but the cruel enchantress, who mocked him, saying, "You would seek your love, but she is lost to you. You will never see her again." In despair, the prince jumped from the tower and fell into a thorn bush, which blinded him. He wandered the forest for many years, living in misery, searching for Rapunzel. One day, he stumbled upon a desert where Rapunzel lived with her twin children. Hearing her singing, he approached, and she recognized him at once. She cried tears of joy, and when her tears touched his eyes, his sight was restored. The prince took Rapunzel and her children to his kingdom, where they were greeted with joy. They lived happily ever after, free from the enchantress's curse, and their love endured for all their days.